How's it going, everybody? I am Donut, and we are reacting to The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 5, Go Getters. I assume Go Getters is whoever in Rick's group is going to be the ones going out to do this extremely dangerous scavenging mission. I don't know who that... Well, let's see if we can predict who that will be. Like, Rosita feels like an obvious example, but I feel like she's going to be sticking back to do the whole making bullets and everything. But then again, she could be needing to go out with them in order to do that. So it might be her and Eugene. Rosita, Eugene, oh man, who else would go? Like, we're actually, a lot of our big named ones are kind of out and away right now. So, I mean, other than them two, I really don't know, because I don't know if Heath and Tara are going to be back. I'm not sure if they would want to immediately go back out again. Heath might, I was going to think, but, I really can't think of anybody else who would volunteer to do it. I don't think Aaron or Eric would. I mean, maybe Aaron would to, protect Eric. I hate that shit, but, him the couple separating, one of them leaving and one staying behind, I hate that shit because every time it creates melodrama, or unneeded melodrama in my opinion, and it's just like, I feel like you're not protecting the one you love if you're going out there to do that. I feel like you should be back there with them, or at least bring them with you so that way they can know what happens to you. But yeah, so Aaron I think might go, but that's it. That's my whole guess. Michonne as well. Let's get into the episode. If you want to see the full length of this episode, check it out. Get it in the description. Check out Patreon. It's $8 a month. It's picture-in-picture, no syncing up required. Yeah, if you want to get the next one early, next week's reaction, $4 a month. Go check that out. Till then, get the fuck out of here. No, wait, what the fuck? I'm used to doing it at the end. Okay, so I was saying it all episode, but Maggie is going to end up being the leader of the Hilltop. I am calling it right now, 100%. She's gonna be the leader. I don't know if it's gonna be through Gregory dying or if it's going to be through him relinquishing it to her. I want to say it's probably gonna be the latter. Actually, I think it'll be after all this goes down. I think she's gonna be a big player in handling the saviors. While Rick's group is more, because of Rick being in charge, cowering and kneeling to them, Maggie is going to be very defiant in the shadows. So, yeah, I'm calling it right now. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to happen at some point. And, I mean, seriously, comparing her, like, Gregory is a fantastic actor. He's garbage man, great character, great actor. If you can forgive Eugene, I feel like you have to forgive Gregory. He is just a coward trying to live, and he's not a good leader, but he's not a bad leader. He's suitable. He lets people, people are surviving and everything. It's better than being out there, and it's better than a lot of things are better than being out there, sure, but it's more than just better than being out there. It's a decent life. It's decent enough. But yeah, I that said though, comparing her to him, he was cowering during the whole attack, and her husband just died. He literally just died last night. She barely even has had time to really process this, and she fought back the entire horde almost single-handedly, just using her brain more than brawn or anything. She was already so weak from the sickness, from having to walk all the way there, from exhaustion, from all the talking that she had to do the previous day, and just the mental exhaustion of everything that's going on around her. Yeah, I think she can handle being a leader. If she can handle this amount of mental stress, she can handle being a leader of this place easy peasy. Negan can come right up to her and she ain't even gonna flinch anymore. She's done. She's done. No more stress. She doesn't even know what stress is anymore. It doesn't exist. So, yeah, I'm excited for whenever that does happen, but I do feel like it's a long way down the road. And speaking of which, her saying, hearing her say her name as, you will learn my name, and it is Maggie Reese. Which, we barely ever hear any character say their last names in this series because they've never said it in the series, but a line from another series called Dr. Stone, which is also takes place in a sort of post-apocalyptic world. There's no need for last names in this kind of world. There's so few people that last names just bog it down. So one, from a meta storytelling perspective, like, they all do have last names, but they never really use them because that sort of social etiquette is completely gone. So you just go by your one name. And most of the time it's not even like a name, sometimes it's just whatever people call you. We barely ever hear the last name. So the double punch of hearing the first and last name and it being Glenn's last name was just doubly as impactful. Great moment. I thought that Dale was the one who gave Glenn his pocket watch because of the time monologue that Dale gave back in season 1. But I went back and rewatched it. It was in season 2 when Herschel gave him the pocket watch. I can't believe I mixed that up. I mean, I mainly mixed it up because of the thing in season 5 with all the Dale titles. So that was in the back of my mind, and I was sort of like overwrote that memory. So the other half we had focusing on Carl and Enid. Being a lot more open with the relationship, which I'm glad about. I hope that it lasts about as long as his relationship in the comic with Sophia. I don't actually remember if it did end or if it was still going on when I left off. I don't remember. Again, we'll get to the comics at some point whenever I have the time and whenever there seems to be interest, because again, there's not much interest in these Walking Dead reactions. I'm mainly doing them for me. Nobody is really paying for them on Patreon. So, we'll look at the comics when there seems to be interest in that. But either way, as opposed to like Sophie in the comics, I'm not that interested to Enid. But I can be. I'm not opposed to it. I don't dislike her. It's just that she's very low on my tier of interest. But I do think they're cute together. I don't really care for her as a character that much. She's not that interesting to me. But I do find them cute together, just as a couple. The roller skates thing was really nice. We don't get that often. Them just enjoying stuff, having a not terrible time. But the only thing I gotta say is that with the car and Carl, like, bad idea, very bad idea, stupid idea. With the hilltop and the whole horde situation, the Saviors really find ways to be the most creative ways to be assholes as they possibly can. They have so much time on their hands that they really just seem to brainstorm how big of an asshole they can be in the most Rube Goldberg-esque way. I guess it's not very Rube Goldberg-esque, but it is still like very, very Joker. I joke about calling the Wolves Joker-esque, in the sense that they're very just want to watch the world burn. They don't seem to have a goal, or they don't want the civilization or anything. They just go in and kill everybody just because. But to be fair, I guess the Saviors are a lot more like, Joker in the sense that this feels like a Joker plot, right? Like, this feels like something out of Batman. Like, just throwing this car in there that's all armored up with the sound playing. That feels like a comic book villain move. Which fits. It is a comic originally. But yeah, the Saviors are just... They feel like classic supervillains. They have so much time on their hands that they can just feel like supervillains. And I imagine that's a lot of what Negan gets out of it too, right? He's getting enjoyment in being able to be a supervillain. With the world as it is now, it's a playground. He can do whatever the hell he wants. Whereas someone like the governor was amassing the tanks and the guns and the people and stuff for an army and fortification and stuff. Negan just seems to be like doing it to fuck with people, to play, to have fun. He don't even give a shit. He's just like, it's my world and I'm gonna play in it. But I imagine you would get points for even coming up with something like that, to be fair. Like, I'm sure there's a whole thing of, whoever can come up with the most fucked up thing we can do to somebody is I guess it wouldn't be the most fucked up thing because that's also not how they roll. It's like how can we fuck with them? Like not how can we like torture them or completely ruin their civilization because they need them. They need a civilization. So it's just like how can we really like mess with them without doing a lot of damage? How can we really just mentally shake them? And yeah, like I said, I assume they probably get points for that kind of thing. And now Simon is their go-between. I kept calling him Wade. This is not Wade. This is Simon. Wade, well, I don't think we've still seen. He's just probably who gives a shit about Wade. But I think I've been calling him Wade in like multiple reactions, but it is Simon. Simon, mustache, Stephen Ogg. Which now that he's gonna be the go-between, we're gonna be seeing a lot more of him, which I'm very glad. So I hope that he, I hope that he continues to come and play like pivotal parts in an episode like this or the finale of the last season. I hope he's a big character. I was gonna say not as like not like D, but D is actually pretty major in terms of the saviors. So I guess I am hoping that he's at least on the level of D. And yeah, so the whole like go-between thing, this is a new thing. So I wonder if this is because Negan is worried of assassination or something. Like Negan not showing up himself. Because even though they dealt with other saviors, yes, Negan did show up to the hilltop himself, apparently, before. I don't remember if we've seen him there himself before. We might have, but I can't remember exactly. And yeah, so then we ended off the episode with our two boys going to find Negan's house, Jesus and Carl, the two most opposite of names I could think. I can't think of two more opposite sounding names than Jesus and Carl. But, I mean, their characters cannot be any, like, have they met? Has Carl met? Yeah, Carl's met Jesus. What am I talking about? Of course he's met Jesus. He was there in the house and everything. So yeah, it's not like he's just this random kid in the back of a car. They know each other, more or less. I think Jesus is the type of person who can tell that Carl's capable as well. So, yeah, I'm sure that Jesus is going to be able to see the light inside Carl. I can't wait for these two. Just an entire episode of Jesus and Carl is the Jesus and Carl buddy cop adventure. Boy, I don't know if it's next episode, but I can't wait. Walking Dead style is never to immediately follow up on whatever the last episode was about, so I don't expect that. Which, in a normal show, I'd be kind of like, man, the fact that we never immediately follow up on any plot point, but to be fair, I do like the Walking Dead style is always just swapping around, switching around, and just like going all over the place because it really keeps the tone switching up between each episode, and you don't get bogged down anymore. Like season 5 was the very beginning of season 5. I think it's why I originally dropped it around there was because every episode was so very, very similar. It was all sad. It was all just extremely depressing. And even when this should be extremely depressing, like we had the bottom of the barrel super depressing 7x1 episode, and we followed it up with 7x2, which was full of laughs, a fun time, a happy, hopeful time. I don't want to say happy, but it was hopeful. Then we jumped right back into the, pit of despair with the Cell 703. Again, it's not a great time. It's awful. It's sad. It's hard to watch. It's rough stuff. Then we go to 7x4 service, where it's very melancholic. It's very coming to terms with it. It's not like gut wrenching. It's not sad like the Cell. It's just a very like having to come to terms with it, having to settle. It's a very slow, really dragging, like get you, like you feel exhausted as all the characters do by the end of it. And then we had this episode, Go Getters, which I don't know how I would define it. Like this episode it had moments of I was gonna say the horde attack, but as I said in the episode, they didn't treat it as this panic moment. The whole episode, even including the horde, felt like this calming down sort of sizzling, getting not quite like a falling resolution, right? We're not at a resolution at all, but it's this sort of lull, the sort of canyon in this story where we're sort of, it's not slow in a happy sense or in a calming sense, but just in a, we know that nothing very bad is going to happen this episode. It didn't give off that vibe. It gave off just this vibe of talking, of being therapeutic. I guess that's the best way I can say. It was a very therapeutic episode, this was. So, next episode, Swear, what do I expect? Maybe some action. We haven't gotten any action in a while, so maybe we'll get some of that. I don't know in what form we would get it. Well, I guess that would have to be Carl and Jesus then, because then we could get the action through that. But I don't know, that would be more stealth. I don't know if they're going to do action there. Oh no, Rick's group is going out to get supplies, so that will be our, going out into the world, a big zombie-focused episode, which we haven't gotten in a long time. So there, we might get that. Something to change up the pace. I really appreciate how The Walking Dead does that. I haven't really talked about that in a long time, if ever, in these reactions. But yeah, I'm excited to see the next episode, and I will see you guys for it. Until then, get the fuck out of here.